You mentioned being young in this game, and to me, you're still very young, but coming in at a very young age, you literally had to deal with that. What does that do to you mentally? I can't imagine the pressure of feeling like I got next, or I have to stay on top now that I have next, or I am it.
it's it's tricky, man. It's tricky. It can be daunting, but as long as you have a good support system behind you, family, friends, an actual team that loves you and isn't just trying to feed off of the money that you're bringing in, people who actually care about you, who you are. I think those are the necessary ingredients that worked for me. Of course, there are many times that you start to smell your own shit, believe the hype, feel like okay, and then sometimes get hurt by the things that happen as well. But with the team, you always have to have somebody to lean on, somebody that's gonna bring you down when you start to put too much air in your balloon, and somebody who's gonna, somebody who will lift you up those times that you feel your lowest.
You talk about being a mental health advocate. What has been your struggle with
Mm.
mental health?
Oof, man. Just literally just that, I think being someone who's been in this game for such a long time and constantly dealing with, from what my therapist says, constantly dealing with uh, just the barrage of good and bad and not knowing how to process it.
Mm.
It's kind, you start to, I guess, like anything, right, you start to get, it feels blocked up, so you start to, things start to pile on heavier and heavier. Those no's that you used to be able to just not even think about, they feel heavier on you now. Those critiques that you used to be able to not even, you be able to slide through and get to the next thing, they weigh heavier on you now. So I think just years and years of going through this business and not knowing how to properly, uh, just properly digest everything that was being thrown at me.
Mm.
I, yeah, it led me to where I was, where was my lowest point.
Which was
Uh, a lot of alcohol, a lot of being in the wrong places, thankfully at the right times, and just not fully loving myself,
mm.
not and not and not finding reasons to stay here, to
Mhm.
be here. It's like I would find any reason to be like, or just constantly play with the thought in my head, like I don't have to be here if I don't want to, like, and you start giving yourself reasons, like, I have a good life insurance joint, my family will be good, I don't have to be here, maybe people will be better off. I got there.
I like to normalize talking about mental health and therapy because I'm in therapy. I'm a big advocate of it.
Hmm.
I I raced out of here the other day to sit in my car for my hour session. So I I appreciate the honesty and the candidness of being naked. There are these limiting core beliefs
Of
we
course, of
tell
course.
ourselves, right? That the no's definitely do build up. How do you actively, outside of therapy, actively put all of the talk into work, day in and day out, with your wife,
Mm.
with your family, with your friends? What would, because it's so uncommon for Black men to be so honest about therapy and what they struggle with. How do you put that into play?
One thing that has helped me a lot, and it's so funny because I just, scrolling through Instagram, you see these like inspirational videos and all of that. I like to follow a lot of
Mhm.
different people like Et, the hip hop preacher, and
Yeah.
all of these
Yes.
guys.
Yes.
Just constant, just people who constantly just give me a little bit of inspiration for the day. uh, there was one video that I saw, somebody was saying, I think a lot of times we get caught up on the expectation of where we're trying to go, or the, place that we're thinking where we deserve to be or we need to arrive to, and we need to start being comfortable maybe not making it there, but becoming the person that we've always wanted to be. You can't always dictate where you're going to go, how you things aren't always going to go the way that you think they should go. But you shouldn't focus on the destination. You should focus on the journey. You should focus on the growing experience. Of course, I want my daughter to grow up and go to college and be great and do this, that, and the third. But I'm having more fun right now living in the present, watching her learn her ABCs and want to come and tell us. I'm having more fun just, watching her in gymnastics jump around. She learned a new move. She's using her own strength on the balance beams and all of that. So I'm paying more attention now to the growth of things. Even, people will always say, oh my God, the play, you probably will win awards and it's this, that, and the third. And it sounds good. And of course, a part of me is like, oh man, that would be great. But I'm not focused on that. What I'm focused on is every day that I get out on that stage, I become a better actor. I'm learning better. I'm learning how to deal with a crowd. I'm learning how to play off of different actors. We're throwing stuff back and forth, and I'm loving more of the growing versus the destinations that we place on things.